100 days ago, I started an experiment where I stopped porn, stopped masturbation. I decided to start taking cold showers. And I started to journal, and in this video I will share my experiences and also what has changed in my life. Hey guys, welcome to this video. My name is Koen and on my channel I share about personal and spiritual growth. So if you're interested in these topics, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just over 100 days ago I started with these 3 things, but to be honest I had one big benefit, and that is that I already stopped watching porn completely around 6 years ago. And later on in this video I will also go into the benefits that it had for me. But the other things I started now. And so what did I learn from them? So let's start by NoFap. By NoFap you abstain from watching porn and from masturbation. And I was reading all these incredible benefits that it should have. So I was super interested if it would be true. So a couple of the things are that you should have increased energy and build-up of muscle, more confidence, greater well-being and lower levels of stress and anxiety, improved attitude and appreciation toward the other sexes, and you should get irresistible to women. And I have to be honest, I found this pretty big statement, so I was really interested if they would come true. When you do NoFap, you actually have 3 versions. So you have a soft one, there you just stop watching porn, but you still masturbate and can still have sex. I have to say, I did that more or less for the last 6 years. Then you have a medium one where you don't watch porn, where you don't masturbate, but you can still have sex. And then you still have a hard one, and there you don't watch porn, you don't masturbate, and you don't have sex. And I was thinking, if I'm gonna try this one time, I'm gonna go all in. So I took the last one, and it was also a great opportunity because my relationship stopped around half a year ago, so I was thinking this might be the only chance that I can really try it on a very good way and just have no sex, not watch porn and don't masturbate. So I went all in and wanted to see what that would bring. Imagine the following situation for a moment. You take a little kid and you put him into a candy shop and you say to him, you cannot have any candy. What would happen? Or maybe you know the following situation as well. You go into a bus or into the train and you didn't have to go to the toilet at all. But out of a sudden you see this big out of order sign onto the toilet and you desperately have to go. I found starting with NoFap having the same effect. So where you normally would not think at all about it, or you would not have any urges, your mind would start bringing up all these reasons why it would be good to do it, or that no one would find out if you would do it. And it was very interesting to see, and also good to know when you start with NoFap that it can happen. And what helped me a lot was not to test myself, because I believe that our mind is very smart. So I would not test yourself, but right when you have the first urge, do something completely different. So I started doing push-ups, or I went for a walk, or I did other things. But so just distract it and just go and do something different. So and now comes the big question, did the benefits come true? What I read a lot is that most of the claimed benefits would come from an increase in testosterone. And personally I could imagine that this happens when you don't do any sexual things, and this would then lead to an increase in your energy and growth of muscles. And I do have to say that I was actually very energetic during this period, so it could be true. Also last month I had one moment where a lot of personal things came together and I lost all my energy, but I think we all have that sometimes. But in general, actually the entire period I did have a lot of energy, so yeah, it could be that came through the NoFap. And then as far as the growth of my muscles did grow. But I also was more disciplined in doing workout. So I started my day by going right under the cold shower. I came out and I did a short HIIT workout of 10 to 15 minutes. That was long enough to pump myself up and also get warm, but it was not so long that I started sweating heavily. And I do have to say, I could imagine when you do your nutrition better and you do even more workouts, that you can see the result better. But I didn't find that a fair comparison to do, because I wanted to compare it more or less with how it was before and now, to see what happens. But I do have to say that also in the past, when I did the same HIIT workout in the morning, that my muscles also grew. So I don't know if this now really is through the NoFap. What I loved most was that I challenged my mind, went out of my comfort zone and did something new. And in that way, my confidence did grow. So the NoFap helped with this, but I don't think it's explicitly for NoFap. I believe that confidence is a skill that you can train. And when you set yourself a challenge, or when you do something new and go out of your comfort zone, I think actually it will grow with anything that you do. And I also saw this in the past when I did other meditation challenges or went out of my comfort zone. So it can be a great way to challenge yourself, but I don't think that it's only for NoFap. Then for the improved appreciation towards other sexes, I do believe that NoFap, and to be precise, when you stop watching porn, can be a benefit for this. As mentioned, I stopped watching porn completely around 6 years ago, and back then I was doing a lot of self-development and work on self-love. And what I noticed inside of myself, that I never felt truly satisfied after watching porn. Actually, the opposite was the case. And on top, it's also not really realistic, is it? You have this handyman that comes by this gorgeous woman, they have right away sex, and to be completely honest, it's also quite often not the most respectful towards the women in these videos, and we will store these images inside of us. So when I stopped watching it completely, I did see a change. So I was already, I would say, respectful towards women, but I did see that this even grew. And I do have to say though that now with no sex, no masturbation, there was not a shift in this anymore. So my personal view on it is that stopping porn is incredibly valuable for this. The other two I don't really see as a benefit. Now the final question: did NoFap make me irresistible to women? During this period I was not looking to date, but I kept my eyes open if more girls would flirt with me, because I found it a very bold statement. And I do have to disappoint you, because it was actually the same as in the past. I had moments where people flirted more and moments where people flirted less. And I saw that this had to do with how I felt myself. So when I was confident, optimistic, a lot of people flirted. When I was feeling not good, no one flirted. And I have the feeling that we quite often get reflected what we send out. So for instance, if we smile, people smile back at us. And when we feel optimistic and confident, people will see this in our posture, find us more attractive, and also flirt quicker. So my conclusion of this period of NoFap is that I loved the challenge. I also see a huge benefit when you stop watching porn. But to be completely honest, as long as you don't have a masturbation addiction and you have, in a respectful way, sex, I don't see a huge benefit of abstaining from the other two. Let's now go to the cold showers, and I have to say that this is something that I very much enjoyed, and it gave me every time a super empowered feeling. I have done in the past already cold showers, but never for such a long period. And the claimed benefits should be that you have an increase in endorphins, an increased immunity, increased willpower, it might increase circulation, and it might reduce stress levels. Most days I got out of bed at 6 a.m. and went right into the shower, and it wakes you up in a super nice way. I had every day the feeling that I did right in the morning something good for myself, and because of it I was very happy with myself. And so for the endorphins, right, and that are happy hormones, I love the feeling when I come out of that shower. So I don't know if it's an increase in endorphins, but I have the feeling that it is at least a release of endorphins in your body, and you feel super happy after that shower. I can also see the point with increased willpower. Every day it takes a little bit of willpower to push yourself to go under that cold shower, because it's not always nice on forehand, but I always love the feeling afterwards. And by training this, I have the feeling that your general level of willpower increases. On top, it gives such an empowering feeling that you carry with you the entire day. And I also have the feeling that because you go out of your comfort zone, you also boost your confidence level and you train as well your confidence with it. I find it hard to say if it also increases your immunity, because I wasn't sick in the last months and I cannot really compare it because I don't get often sick. But what they say is that the amount of white blood cells should increase in your body and they are for your defense, so it could be that it helps. I can also see the point with reduced stress levels. What they say about this is that you put your body every time that you go under the cold shower under a little bit of stress, and because you do, you get used to handling moderate levels of stress. I cannot really say it out of my own experience, but what I do feel is that I feel every time super relaxed after the shower. So now comes the big question, what is the best way to get under the cold shower? I have to say, you don't always feel like it, but you can prepare yourself in a very good way. So what I do, I just stand in front of the cold shower and in my head, I just say that it is super good for myself and my body. So I keep repeating the benefits of it. Because I train my body in looking forward for that cold shower. So I, for instance, say, I take this cold shower because it's super good for my body, or because I will feel so good afterwards. And then I just go straight under it. I don't first let some water fall on top of me. I just go straight in there and I keep repeating that I love it. So I try to not let any negative thought come in between. And I always see that after more or less a minute, you can breathe normal again and your body starts relaxing and enjoying it. Let's now go into the last part and into journaling. And you can journal on a lot of different ways. So for instance, you can just write your thoughts that you have on paper. And I do this sometimes when I have a very busy mind, and by putting them on paper, my mind quiets and they're out there. But in general, I ask myself 3 questions. And the first question is, what was a success in the last 24 hours? By doing so, I train myself in a success mindset. And I also want to see my personal successes. So not big things, but it can be anything like I made dinner for good friends yesterday, or I made this video and I edited it. And so small successes that make me happy. The second question that I ask is, where am I thankful for in my life? And it is shown that thankfulness exercises make you more happy. And if there's one thing that I can recommend you to start doing, is just focusing on gratitude. In my life, this made a huge difference. And that could be anything like for the clothes that I have, for this camera, for instance, for that I went for a cup of coffee with a friend of mine. Small things, but when you focus on it, you will also throughout your day focus more on gratitude. And then the last thing that I write down are my 3 goals for that day. So I want to put them on paper because when I do, I am more focused, I know better what I have to do, and it also is shown by research that if you write them down, that you quicker do them as well. So I write then as last thing down the goals that I want to achieve. I did enjoy the journaling during this period, and I will also continue doing it because I see that I focus through these 3 questions more on the things that I have, what makes me happy, and secondly, it makes me more focused throughout the day. If you enjoyed this video, I would be grateful if you liked the video. If you're interested in future videos, subscribe to the channel. And I'm super grateful that you watched this video. Wish you an amazing day and I hope to see you in one of my next videos.